Hello and welcome to the most alright movie ever made. I'm your an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind: to find the most alright movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci, and Bob Hasek. Hey guys, how are you and why are we doing this?
I am doing great because we watched The Crow. We're going to talk about The Crow, one of the greatest movies ever. This is a good movie episode, so we're not talking about one of the shitty crows like caw-caw, caw-caw, Bob.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm glad you started that way, because every time I talk to someone about this podcast and I mention a good movie episode, they're like, "What do you mean? You guys only talk about bad movies?" I'm like, "We're doing The Crow." It was finally Rob's comeuppance.
Yeah.
Yes. He got the big payoff.
Yeah.
No, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 70. It's definitely a shit. I just blew that. Go on.
Well, that's actually not what I got, Rob. So we'll see. He did not just ruin it.
Right, cool.
But yeah, no, I thought it was fun. I thought the pace was quick and good, and there's a lot of good to talk about. But I'm definitely gonna blast it a new butthole at some point.
Sounds good.
Why don't we start with some YouTube comments?
Sure. Who's waiting for Brandon Lee to come back and get revenge on the film crew that fucked him over? In all seriousness, though, that was really fucked up. That happened to him. R.I.P. man. One of the best movies of all time. It doesn't need a remake. I agree. I love how this trailer does not reveal too much, but manages to convey the powerful, stunning atmosphere in this incredible story. The film is absolutely amazing and is so beautiful as a tragic yet captivating tale about the power of love. I wouldn't go that far. The score is also stunning. Brandon Lee and all the other actors did a fantastic portrayal of characters in this dark, gripping world. And then like a little less than 3 heart emoji. And then the last one. This movie transcends time and will live forever. The only way to keep someone alive is to never stop loving them. Love never dies.
Yeah, I did not include that in the best dialogue. I thought about it, but it was a little like heard this before.
Yeah.
Almost.
A little ham-fisted by the third act.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go again. All right, let's go to test number 1, the best of its kind.
The best movie ever made presents the best of its kind.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, I decided I was going to be generous to this movie.
Okay.
Before I knew what the score was myself, but in so doing, I chose The Crow, City of Angels.
Yeah.
It was starring, well, maybe not starring, co-starring, cameo, I don't know, but Iggy Pop is in it, so I had to mention that.
Did he have a shirt or no?
Did he have a shirt? Probably not.
Yeah.
Allergic.
But I know Iggy, probably not. 11%.
Okay.
From Dawn Till Dusk, George Clooney.
All right.
Among others, Quentin Tarantino. Another kind of fun movie. I don't really love it. It's a 62. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Tarantino guy, but I don't think he directed that.
No, he didn't.
No. The Lost Boys, Kiefer Sutherland.
Excellent.
Apparently that got a 76. I haven't seen it, but I kind of want to now.
It's got Tim Capello wailing on a saxophone in front of flaming trash cans. What else do you need in a movie?
All right. Aside from that, it's really good.
Yeah.
Dark City, Jennifer Connelly, William Hurt, 75%. I think we had Mr. Hurt as our American president in Vantage Point. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So those last few were pretty good. Nice percentages there. But we came in the Underworld pretty low there with Kate Beckinsale, 31%.
Okay.
That's another one I haven't seen, but
I mean, either.
People must like it because there's 7 of them.
Huh.
Yeah.
31. And there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't get it. But I did just look up The Crow on Rotten Tomatoes before, though Rotten Tomatoes was glitchy, I will say. And it had an 84%.
I thought 70 for some reason, but okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it 84. I'm okay with that.
I didn't expect it to have that high a percentage because it's not an 84. It's not that good.
Oh, fuck you. It's fucking great. You gotta view it through the context. I'll talk about it later. What's next?
I'm just busting your balls. Average was a 51.
Okay.
So it is 33% better than the average and the best of its kind.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe it's deserving. I don't know. I haven't seen The Lost Boys, so I couldn't tell you if it's the.
It's a fun movie. It's not great, but it's fun.
It's great. It's better than The Crow.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Now I definitely have to check it out. All right, test number 2. Ain't that a pit?
The best movie ever made presents the plot pitch. Remix.
I got an idea for a movie and hit my pitch. I get a job and quit my band and you stop being a bitch.
Ain't that a bitch?
Limericks?
Limericks, that's what I did. What did you guys do?
That's what I did.
I did.
All right, cool.
I'd like to go first.
Please.
All right.
There once was a man named Draven who was seeking revenge for a raping. He poured rings in his gun and went killing for fun, but they were bad guys, so the reviews were a raven.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go.
All right.
I did it, guys. I finally did the standard opening. There once was a man that was Crow. Out the window his body they throw. He comes back from the dead to get his revenge for his wife, who should be the Crow.
All right.
That's a really good point now that I think about it.
I will go more into that, but yeah, you go ahead and let that out.
But, like, he's the one that felt the rage, so, I mean, he's the one that was brought back.
Mm.
He died first.
Yeah, she probably wasn't too mad about being raped and murdered.
Yeah. See, he died first, so
He died first. That's it. That's the only thing it is.
yeah, he got to the finish line. The Crow's like, well, he's been here longer, so he's next.
Yeah, sorry, first come, first serve.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. All right, Limerick. Here we go. There once was a magical crow who carries people's souls, don't you know? A movie was made about a revenge crusade. Sadly, Lee never got to see the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is sad.
Yeah.
And
Bummer.
it's true, because he died.
I'm gonna anachronistically say he was Alec Baldwin.
He was.
He was indeed.
Yeah.
Test number 3, the best dialogue.
Oh, let me get that. That's good movie bumpers. The best movie ever made presents the best dialogue. Got it. They all sound kind of similar, so I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't choose a winner because we just don't compare the good movies. So whatever.
That's right.
Starting number 10. What's up?
No, I was my cat was around my cable.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you took exception to that, but
Nah.
All right, Grange. I think that was his name. The guy who dies first. Go figure.
Mhm.
This is an attempt to draw his character as a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
I think that the dialogue here was relatively effective when he says, "Shelley, yeah, I shanked her pink ass and I loved it."
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, "All right, yeah, he can die." That's a pretty
Yeah.
naughty way to describe your death. And then number 9, Grange again says, this is as he's leaving the pawn shop with that insane pawn shop owner, who reminded me of Hard to Kill. Was it Hard to Kill? The guy in the like convenience shop.
Yeah, and it's also Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yes,
right.
It is.
Right.
It is.
It is totally.
Yeah. Anyway, he says, and I'll see if I can get this right. Cheap ass chrome dome child molesting saprophyte motherfucker. I had to look it up because I didn't know what that meant. But like a fungus.
Huh.
Mm.
Like feeding off of organic matter. And I thought it was a pretty nice way to put the evil pawn shop owner. As we mentioned before, pawn shops are always evil.
Yeah.
In Judge Dredd, we also had an evil pawn shop owner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made me look up saprophyte. And
Cool.
I was like, you know what? He is kind of feeding off of other people by like taking their desperation and selling it to other people.
Yeah.
So, so it's a pretty nice little dialogue there. Top Dollar. That's the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
He says to the Crow as he's about to do him in, he says, "Nothing in this town happens without my say-so. I'm sorry if I ruined your wing plans, friend. But if it's any consolation to you, you have put a smile on my face." I was half expecting something a little bit more sympathetic than that. And then I remembered that he was the bad guy, and that's a good way of making him a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually do not have a clip at number 7, so you get to hear more of my sultry voice.
Okay. Nice.
This is T-Bird, who, by the way, I love. I forget the actor's name, but every time I see him, he's the guy who's like, "Warrior, come out and play." You know, he's in a whole bunch of shit. We actually had him on the pod when we did Camino.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, he was in Camino. And this was kind of his tagline, which I thought was a good one that they pulled from the Bible. I was surprised that no one else had used this to my knowledge. But abashed the devil stood and saw how awful goodness is. He said it a few too many times, but I did like the sin is more fun, you know, only the good die young kind of nature of the line. And you know, I don't really get why he's screaming it over and over again in the car as he's about to explode.
Yeah.
You know? Little Hampton third act there.
That's okay.
Number 6, the Crow says, and this dialogue really starts to get good. This was almost really nice. I like this one though. "Mother is the name of God on the lips and minds of all children," which is kind of a cool way of thinking about parenthood.
Yeah.
Because they don't know any better. And now we get into what's going to be my favorite part of the podcast. And this is talking about Ernie Hudson. I love Ernie Hudson. Have you guys ever seen Oz, the prison show?
No, that's something I'll probably watch in the next year or so, though, after The Sopranos.
I mean, obviously he's from the Ghostbusters. I think is he Winston? Is that his character's name?
I believe so. Yeah.
He's awesome. Whenever you see Ernie Hudson, you can bet you're going to like his character. I don't know. I've never seen him play an evil character, but if he did, I'd probably still like him. He just has that kind of magnanimous.
He's natural. Yeah, he has like a natural affect to him. He's kind of just goes with it.
Yeah, you just love the guy every time. Anyway, he had some great dialogue as Albeck, I guess is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
The this guy comes out after. It's right in the beginning. They have the dead bodies of Brandon Lee's character Eric and Shelley, his fiance.
Yeah.
And this junior detective comes up and he's like, "What is that? Who's that?" You know, not understanding that that's the dead body they just found. And Albeck is like, "It's Amelia Earhart. We found her. You missed it."
Yeah.
Which made me laugh. All right. Albright again says to the Crow, and I'm not going to give this one context, but he says, "Here's the plan. You stand in front of them, and then when they run out of ammo, I'll arrest them."
Yeah. That's great. That's like the person who can't get knocked out and let the guy get tired punching you, and then you just fucking push him over.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then you're good.
Yeah.
There's what's his face? The Dread Pirate Roberts fighting the giant in
right.
Princess Bride.
Yep.
Just let him keep going until he tires out. All right, first clip of the night. This one is called "Caw-caws."
Quick impression for you. Caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead.
I didn't know whether I felt like I hated that, and then I let it simmer a little bit, and I was like, I think I love that.
I'm gonna tell you why I love this movie, and this highlights it. It's everything is like a hyperbole. And if you view it through that lens where it's the whole fire it up, that whole they're so super animated, they're so super evil. It's just and it's not patronizing at the same time where it's he's good, they're bad, but he's also an anti-hero. And Yeah, that's why it's just like, yeah, it's like that's such a over the top. Like if we had the emotometer still, that would have ranked pretty high.
Oh
And-
man,
But in this film, I buy it. It's just like, okay, that's who he is.
there is one scene in the movie where we're gonna get into it a little bit later.
Yeah.
Maybe the catch-all, something like that. But there's just one of the characters is such a bad actor. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Crow says to Albrecht again. He says, "You help me," and Albrecht says back, "Don't mention it. I've been meaning to come to church anyway." It's just another moment
Okay.
where he's just like so cool and funny. I was just like, they wrote for him well, and he just has so much charisma. He just carries it along so well. I love her. All right, number 1 is a clip. This one's called Top Dollar.
Dad gave me this. 5th birthday. He said, childhood's over the moment you know you're gonna die.
Yeah,
That's a cool line.
that's a fucking great line.
Ouch.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I hope you guys at home could hear that one. But yeah, let me jump off the mic and let you guys get in here. I feel like I'm speeding through, but what a cool line. No?
Yeah. No, it's that's he kind of very quickly summed up his origin. And I think I don't want to step on any best production stuff, but pacing is a very strong point in this movie.
Oh, I don't mention pacing, so that's a good thing to bring up because
I'm on eggshells right now because like there's some things I want to say, but like you might say it, so I'm waiting for your segment.
This is what we do to each other.
Yeah.
That's the whole bingo card moment.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you had a hard time at home hearing it, I know it was whispery, but I thought it was the best line in the movie by far. He says his father gives him like a snow globe on his 8th birthday, which is like has a cemetery inside of it, so it's already like, what the fuck are you doing giving an 8-year-old this?
Yeah.
But then he says, like, childhood ends the moment that you know you're going to die, something to that effect. Paraphrasing, I think. But it's true. It's true. Whenever that is that you lose your sense of immortality, funny enough, that's when adulthood starts. Welcome to it.
True.
And number 4, the best production.
This is gonna be the best production.
That's so fucking good.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I forgot I made that. Okay, good on me. Okay, so best production in this case is my tagline is going to be really twofold. It's a faithful story adaptation and a faithful visual adaptation from the comic.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay, so this is the thing. Comic, I mean, there's so many examples of comic book or even just book writing where the adaptation just doesn't rise to the occasion. In this case, the writers and directors trusted the source material's value and direction, and they cast the movie well. They developed the characters in a mostly believable way. They characterized the villains as extreme villains, as Rob mentioned before, and much like they'd be interpreted from like a comic, like a what do you call that? A graphic novel. But also, here's the interesting thing: the comic was completely black and white, which is unusual for comic books, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
And the producers first said, no, you are not allowed to make a black and white movie. So the director said, I want to make a black and white movie with only the flashbacks in color. And the producer said, no way. So the director said, fine, fuck you. I'm just going to film it in extremely dark scenes with lots of grays and whites and blacks.
Yeah.
And shot it that way to be faithful to the book. And it turned out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's a much better Spawn visually.
Yeah.
Much better.
Because they kind of went hard on the whole like film noir thing where it's like they the way they shock cut flashbacks and like overlapping scenes when they're talking like when I was mentioning pacing earlier, Bob, like all the bad guys are in their conference room talking about like they don't know who Eric or the Crow is yet. They just know something's happening, and it shows him slowly leveling up. Like while they're talking, he's testing his powers to jump from building to building, and like he's doing like his little endurance test. Whereas like in the Spider-Man movies, like they've rebooted it so many times, and like, do you really need to have Peter Parker going like, oh, do I have web? Like we know you're Spider-Man, just do the Spider-Man shit,
Right.
And I think the Crow did a great job in just like. We know you're the Crow. You're doing Crow shit. Awesome.
That's the thing. They developed the characters, I think, in a good pace. I think that goes to both our points. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I got distracted there. I just got a text from my head chef asking me to come in a little earlier tomorrow. So yes, Chef Taylor, I'll come in a little early. I'm gonna have to let my brother know to come earlier so that I can borrow his car because we only have one. There's a little insight into my life.
There it
Okay, Rob, why don't you hit us with that sweet ad read, bro?
All right, this might offend some people because I don't know what everybody's driving these days. Today's episode of The Best Movie Ever Made is brought to you by Nissan Altima drivers. Seriously, what the fuck? This species has not yet learned that the peripheral vision could be improved by replacing the plastic bag on the driver's side with a window, and by also having side mirrors. We all slow down and pull over when we see more than 3 of you in close proximity because you are a public safety risk by the likes of which we've never seen. Stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah, they're definitely lower on the ratio scale of windows to motorists.
In Nashville, they're worse than BMWs. They're just the biggest assholes on the road. Like I see an Altima, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking go over here.
Wow.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you
Hey, you got it.
to Nissan for the partnership.
Our proud sponsor.
We need that. We need that kind of clout.
Yeah.
For sure. Test number 5. What's complimentary? Where is it?
The best graphics. Nope. Shit boy. Nope. What's complimentary?
And nothing gets me down.
You got it.
They all got renamed to my first and last name, and I'm just going based off the length.
Well,
I'll figure it out one day.
The mommy turnaround is nice.
Yeah.
It's a little speedy, but okay.
Yeah.
It is speedy. I mean, he just like grabs her and then makes her like body expel the toxins.
Yeah, the morphine ooze out of her wrists. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it more believable. The fact that it was magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then he could have put like some soothing therapy into her head as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Because apparently he can take his hands and put the images that he's tortured with into somebody else.
He should have, like Little Nicky, swapped out the morphine with Pepsi. And see.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. By the way, Rob, do you like that movie?
What's that, Little Nicky?
Yeah.
I'd watch it again. I saw it once when it came out, and I was like, it was pretty funny.
All right.
I was like 8. The Popeyes chicken is fucking awesome line. I didn't understand until we got a Popeyes in our small town like 10 years later. And I was like, yeah, Popeyes chicken is fucking awesome. That's a good point.
Well, and yeah, you're right. It is a good movie.
Yeah.
For what's complimentary, I already mentioned this because I couldn't help myself, but Ernie Hudson, and his name is David Patrick Kelly. Anytime I see those guys in movies, I'm happy. And two of like those guys for me are in this movie. That makes me very happy. Like Bob said, the casting is pretty great. That sniveling little weasel that is David Patrick Kelly that you just want to punch in the face. Really hard.
Mm-hmm.
You make it a bad guy, it always works.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Ernie Hudson, always a good guy, always a solid choice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the car chase. I enjoyed the element of not understanding why there was a car chase. Because he wasn't trying to get away or anything.
Yeah.
So the mystery of it to me was kind of new. You know what I mean? I guess it doesn't have a full-on explanation. Like the reason he was having him speed here is because, other than he's kind of hoping to cause a fatal car accident because he'll survive it.
Yeah.
and
That's what I got from it.
and T-Bird would not.
Yeah.
Right.
I have two more, and I'm really hoping that this does not step on fact or no fact. Maybe I shouldn't do this.
No, do it. I can always change real quick.
Inspiration for Ledger's Joker? Question mark. Also, inspiration for WCW's Sting? Question mark. Like that one, I feel like you cannot dispute.
Yeah.
Both are true, and they're not in my fact or no fact.
All right.
I want to say something right now, Chris. Brandon Lee in The Crow, Robert Smith from The Cure, and Johnny Depp from Edward Scissorhands, they solidified the image of like the modern goth, and it's still running strong.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Whether or not you think that's cool is another story, but I think that's pretty cool.
Do you guys have anything else you want to mention here?
Not till after fact or no fact. Probably in the catch-all.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's roll to some more clips with test number 6 of the best acting.
1, 2. The best movie ever made presents the best acting.
Yeah.
Get up. Cool.
Yeah. All right. We were starting with a clip called Chemistry.
You okay?
I saw her. I saw her through your eyes. You stayed with her the whole time.
Yeah, well, you gotta understand something, all right? I was hoping she'd come out of it, you know? I mean, something I could work with. Yeah. Look,
Why didn't you do something about it?
come on, you think any of those people in that building, even the ones who signed the petition, would talk after what happened to you? Kept asking questions and finally got busted for sticking my nose where it wasn't wanted.
Is your wife?
Yeah, well, not anymore. We're getting a divorce.
It's funny. Little things used to mean so much to Shelley. I used to think they were kind of trivial. Believe me, nothing is trivial. You shouldn't smoke these. They'll kill you.
Are you gonna vanish into thin air again?
I thought I'd use your front door.
Look, man, I'm sorry as hell for what happened to you and your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I should have had the metal go a little longer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kind of sounded like our intro for a half second.
Yeah.
You did. Great character development.
Yes, agreed. I really enjoyed that scene. I thought it was well written. I thought it was well acted. And then the cherry on the top for me was the young to use the front door. Because he was feeling really human in that moment.
Yeah. There's trust
You know?
now. They established trust.
Yeah, he didn't have to like disappear out a window and be like a ghost because he felt like an emotional person at that moment.
And if you think about it, he first spooks him and then he grabs him a fresh beer and he offers it as like a peace offering. Now,
Yeah.
what is beer made of? Hops, barley, same thing as bread. He's breaking bread. He is Jesus Christ. He's a Christ figure.
I have in that hops, barley, Marley,
Yeah.
Jacob Marley,
Wheat.
just like Jacob Marley visiting in the middle of the night, the ghost. Maybe this was all just Albeck's imagination. Could be.
Good stuff.
All right. Go ahead. You got one too?
No, I would let you. I'd like to Just pretend like I'm just a witness to this whole entire endeavor.
Yeah.
Number 2, misconduct.
It's the 3rd hit in your hood in 24 hours. We just fished this out of the river. He's fused to his own car. We're gonna have to ID his teeth.
Name's T-Bird. Arson was his specialty. Looks like he zigged when he should have zagged. Case closed.
Bull fucking shit. Come here. You're holding out on me. I got a goddamn vigilante killer knocking off scumbags left and right, and you're covering up for somebody. Who's the cartoon character in the painted face?
Hey, you are the detective. Why don't you tell me?
Okay. Gideon's blows all to hell, and you're having a chit-chat with some weirdo who winds up at Deepert's car when it zigs instead of zags. Then you steal one of my case files from homicide, and you're saying this is just a fucking automobile accident? Come on!
Yeah. Good speech, though. I didn't want to interrupt you. It sounded good. You gotta write that shit down.
All right, smartass. The captain's got a little love note waiting for you. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your suspension.
Suspension? For what?
Misconduct.
That's so great. That's so
Uh,
great.
I liked the super ugly lieutenant guy.
Yeah.
He goes almost over when he's like, what he says? He says, "God damn it," with a lot of emphasis. I think it is. He's like,
Mhm.
"God damn it," and like,
Yeah.
that's hard to pull off lines like that with that kind of power behind it without sounding like you're not really in the moment, like you're acting, obviously.
Yeah.
And I thought he pulled it off pretty well. But of course, Ernie Hudson again, because he's the man.
Yeah.
One thing
When
that
he's
pissed
like,
me
you
off.
should have written that down. It's kind of awesome.
One thing that did bug me though is like this crime happened the same night or like the night before, and you don't get dental IDs that quickly when your whole town's being fucking blown up. Like, I'm just saying, like that is a little plotty hole. That I
Man,
just
what
noticed.
what was the movie we were watching where they did the like handwriting analysis in like 12 seconds?
Yeah.
And
I forget.
they were in some department of like a small. God, it might have been Raw Deal.
That was Catwoman. That was Catwoman.
Oh,
wasn't
That was
it?
Catwoman.
Right,
That was Catwoman.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That was
Thank you,
Catwoman.
Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On the
they had
coffee
a
cup,
handwriting analysis expert who was able to identify the napkin or whatever as the same handwriting as the note that Catwoman left. And
Even
that's what it all was.
even on Pawn Stars, when Rick needs an expert to look at an autograph, it takes a couple hours.
Yeah, that
Right.
guy, the guy with the big hat and the like poker shoot,
Yeah.
just always takes him forever to get there. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, last one of these clips. This one's called "I Do Care."
Eric, I know you're here. I miss you. And Shelly. Get so lonely all by myself. Hell with you. I thought you cared.
Sir, do care.
That's him. That's him. But he looked different. He was all painted up white like some kind of dead whore. I seen him. T-Bird, he sent me in for some road beers, right? And he took him away, but I chased him down. And he flat right T-Bird to the fucking car. Oh, T-Bird, it's you, buddy.
Is that hard to act like that or easy? I don't know. This movie blurs so many lines, dude.
Ooh, I told you it'd come up again, but I didn't want you to know that it would be in the best acting because that was so bad. So bad, Rob.
Yeah.
Rob, you're responsible for that.
That's what I like about this movie, though. It's just so animated. Like, I'm not even joking. It's not my usual bullshit.
I know.
Like,
I know.
I do love it for that reason.
That was honestly part of the best production was the fact that they cartooned these guys so well.
Yeah.
Fuck
Doesn't
that
agree.
guy. His name
Yeah.
was Stank.
Tintin.
He can't help that.
Yeah.
You guys want to mention anything else? I saved one more clip for the catch-all, and Rob, I swear to God, I'm not making fun of the movie in that clip. I swear to you.
Okay.
I'm going to
That sounds
lay
good.
into it a little bit in the catch-all. You know I am. I'm sorry.
I already know what it is. I have a defense ready, dude. We're good. We're gonna head to head on this shit.
Yeah. No,
What?
The last clip I genuinely enjoyed. Genuinely.
Okay, cool.
You guys want to mention anything for the best acting before we throw it to fact or no fact?
No, I guess not.
No, I just think I'm saving it for catch-all. I don't want to. Fact or no fact's my favorite segment, and there's lots of things involving things that happen on this movie.
Yeah.
That are probably going to be in this bit. So I will wait.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So nothing else for the best acting.
The worst movie ever made presents Fact or No Fact. Did you actually have something, Chris, or no?
No, I was just gonna say before Bob, you take over. Rob and I are so politely dueling it out right now. Like,
Yeah,
I was just trying to make a point by saying we did 2 honest, good acting clips, and then you guys said nothing else to mention, and Rob cut me off with a bar because he knew where I was going with that. Anyway,
this movie deserves blanket treatment. Like, I think it's like it's all or nothing. You either love it or you don't. I think I'm starting to realize because, like, I don't know. I watched it at a very. I watched it when I was 6 when it came out, and I was like, "That's fucking cool. I want to watch that again." This guy's like evil, but he's doing good shit. Like, he's going like weedly. Yeah, it's like you know.
No, it's a pretty good movie. I did it. I did not dislike it by any stretch. I'm just I just felt like it'd be really funny to lay into you specifically, Rob.
Real quickly, do I smell gasoline? And then he's just like, "Wow!" That's fucking cool. And the rings just come out. Like, it's so fucking cool. Anyway. All right, go on.
There's a lot of
Fact
cool
or no
moments.
fact?
No doubt. Fact or no fact?
Yeah.
All right, fact or no fact. So, just to address the elephant in the room, there's nothing specifically about Brandon Lee being shot and killed because I thought it'd be in bad taste. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
we have 5 facts, or should I say 4 facts and 1 lie. That's how we do it on best fact. No
That's
fact.
right.
So 4 of these things are real, and only 1 is false. So I think this is a harder game. Here we go.
I agree.
First one: the production did not have enough money or the space to shoot a car chase scene, so they did it with miniatures instead. You mentioned the car chase scene earlier. Okay. Cocaine abuse was rampant on the set, with cameramen shooting while high, the crew going into toilets to snort cocaine between shots, that kind of thing. Okay, though not widely publicized, a crew member was killed by falling off scaffolding and breaking his neck during production. Michael Massey, one of the bad guys, he stopped acting for a year because he was so traumatized by the incident. Up until his death in 2016, he actually never saw the movie. And Brandon Lee apparently applied his own makeup every night before going to bed so that when he woke up, his face paint would look naturally worn out.
Ooh.
That's
Okay.
good.
Wow.
There you go. Those are
Here's
the 5.
Here's the thing. Okay, so a lot of these things like kind of support each other as fact. I think the cocaine abuse was probably true. I believe that the crew member fell off the scaffolding. I believe someone would be traumatized off that. And like before the fatal thing that happened to Brandon Lee, he was injured. Like he was electrocuted. Like there's a bunch of weird stunts shit that went. Like it was like one of those like cursed sets where like I
Like the
heard
Winter
there were a
Lot.
lot of mishaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's a munchkin just hanging in the background by his neck because they forgot to cut it out of the daily.
That really, I saw that. I mean, I literally said, I don't know if you guys have seen the actual footage, but
My
it is out
great
there.
aunt had aunt had like one of the old VHS copies. I may have seen. I don't remember, but I think there was like they kind of just like quietly made new editions.
Yeah.
I had one of those standard like late teen obsessions with death, and when I heard about it, I just had to find it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't remember how I obtained the footage, but I remember specifically pausing on it and being like, "That's a person hanging in the background." There is, there is a part though where there's actually like a crane, like a not an operating crane, but like the bird,
Yeah.
like walking, or a stork or something walking in the background. A lot of people mistake that for being the hanging person because there's something weird going on in the background, but it's actually just a big bird that was on set for, you know, for another movie or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, unless I'm doing the old, it's been like 16 years and I don't quite remember. I feel like I paused, rewound, and watched someone hang on the Wizard of Oz set repeatedly. Anyway,
nice.
I feel like this should push us to do a bunch of old movies that are bad.
I've got a shitload of Laurel and Hardy on my hard drive. We'll talk later.
And one little, wasn't it true also that the Tin Man's soup was like outrageously hot and suffocating, and he ended up in like an iron lung because of the lead that they used in his makeup and shit? Like, something happened to the guy who played the Tin Man where he almost died. He was like out of commission for like 2 years or some shit.
I'm going to go on a real deep rabbit hole after this episode and see what's up with that movie.
Yeah.
Well, most likely, yes. In the movie Goldfinger, the James Bond movie, the woman who was painted entirely in gold, I guess that happened as well to her.
Yeah.
As like she was having like...
Asphyxiated?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens to dudes at football games with the body paint all the time, apparently. Brandon Lee applied makeup before bed. That's kind of believable. It's like, it's light method acting, you know? So I'm going to say the lie is the miniatures. Cause that looked like I've seen things where like they've done models and blown up models. Like that looked pretty good for like 94.
It looked good to me too, but I was between the two because I felt like they just didn't show a lot of the car chase. They only had like small streets that they could use or something, so they couldn't really show a very high speed chase. I was between that and the rampant cocaine use because I felt like the scaffolding thing was not something Bob would make up because it would also be sort of in poor taste to make up another death on scene. And Massey stopped acting, I feel like, is another one that Bob wouldn't touch if it weren't true. And I do believe that Brandon Lee probably applied the makeup the night before. Again, we probably don't want to touch Brandon Lee unless I'm not to call you out, Bob. If any of these are true, I'm not judging you. But I feel like the rampant cocaine is the bait. Like we all want to think that's true and laugh about it. So I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna say that's fake because I think he's baiting us. So you go miniatures, I'll go cocaine, and we'll see if our 40% chance to defeat the Bob Foolery this week somehow wins.
I wish people could see me laughing. I guess they can if we're doing YouTube. Anyway,
true.
You're both right. Brandon Lee did apply his own makeup every night because he actually was very unhappy with the way the makeup was. And he said, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. And then I'll go to bed and I wake up, it'll look like I'm tattered. So it was perfect.
Yeah. It's good idea.
Michael Massey, totally true. He stopped acting for a year. And he died in 2016 and never watched The Crow. Sad, appropriate, understandable.
Yeah.
Cocaine was rampant on the set.
Damn.
Yes. The crew.
I really thought you were baiting us there.
No. It was bad actually. It was the entire crew, the camera crew, everything. They were shooting while high. They were cutting lines like.
Wait, when
scenes.
you say shooting while high, do you mean
filming?
Yeah. Filming. Got it. Not
yes. Which would explain the high quality film. Anyway.
Yeah.
And
every actor got their lines.
Yeah.
Because it isn't real, I felt like faking a death was not in bad taste. I faked the death.
The scaffolding?
Yes. I faked the death.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
More Bob Foolery.
So, I mean...
They did do the car chase in miniatures. Yes, they did.
Wow,
That's
they did a good
pretty
job
well
with
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
really good job on that.
I kind of extra researched it. I'm like, I'm gonna watch the scenes again and like watch it in slow motion, and they really cut it well in terms of like, because it was cut so quickly. You don't care as much, you know. You don't care that it's miniatures, because it's so, the actual distant shots of the cars crashing and speeding are so fast. You don't even care. It's more about the characters in the cars, and the characters when they are, what happens to the guy at the end? He falls out of his car and something else. I forget what else happens.
Skank
Blows up or something like that.
Skank gets hit by the cop car because the cop car like slams into him like 70 miles an hour, and he goes through like the passenger side.
Right.
But then, yeah, T-Bird is obviously like strapped to his own car that the Crow puts in drive, and then like
that's right.
Bomb go off in it with all the explosives in the back. You know.
But I guess they did have a very small scene, which is where the scaffolding came from, because there would be no scaffolding, because the scenery was actually very, like the set was very tight, very small.
Right.
And they didn't have a whole lot of space. So I made up the scaffolding, which made me think of breaking necks.
Yeah.
I wrote this during study.
At breakneck speed, with the car chase, pulling it all together, put a bow on it. Understood. We got it.
Nice.
Jacob Marley.
So every Jacob Marley and me, dead dog. Okay, anyway.
Dead dog, dead humans, the Crow, still alive. That dog's still alive, even though he died in the movie.
Tupac's coming back as Machiavelli.
So every Thursday, I have to watch 3 separate homerooms at the same time by myself. It's about 90 kids in sixth grade and 7th grade, and I have them stay quiet for 40 minutes.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
That was today. And at some point around the 35th minute, I was writing this segment, just shouting, just be quiet for a few more minutes.
I got to give you credit. I would not be able to keep my kids quiet. That's for sure. I can't keep too quiet. So, all right.
Anyway,
Catch-all.
Speaking of my life.
Catch-all, that's going to be over. We're only asking you to pick up what we're throwing down because you're not catching it in the first place. Welcome to the catch-all. Hey, Chris, real quickly. I want to go first because I've been wanting to say this the whole episode.
Yeah, cool.
So, apparently, Brandon Lee's death actually made this movie better because they had to work with like 80% of the film, and they had to do a lot of really clever edits and continuity things to make him still be the star and have a bunch of a certain timeline go and have the certain sequences go that we wanted to go. So there's no way of knowing, but apparently the original draft of this film, the way it was intended to be, would not have been like the powerhouse, like cult classic that we all know and love today, Chris. I found that interesting because like, who knows what it could have been? Like, you know, it could have been like a 20%, like not as good, not as tightly resolved, but like they only had so much film to work with and they had to use a stunt guy and kind of had to improvise a little bit.
Right. Okay. So they sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Aaron pointed out also that there probably was some kind of I don't know, extra fervor behind the movie, unfortunately, because of the death, the tragedy. Probably also increased the sales. So
probably,
you know, and then when something like that is attached to a movie, it's hard to be super critical of it, which I'm going to be in just about 30 seconds. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. The fact of the matter is there were only 3 days left to film when he passed.
Yeah.
So they really had shot, I'll say more than 80%.
Yeah, probably.
To Rob's 80-20 rule. They shot like 95+% of the movie. So they only had to digitize a small piece of it. And I think overall, for what it was quality.
Yeah.
And I'm critical.
It was. It is a movie that I may watch again in my adult life, which I cannot say about any of the bad movies.
I'm at like a once every 2 years with The Crow at this point. Like, there's some movies I watch like every quarter, like basketball. Every 3 months, I gotta watch basketball. But like, The Crow is just like, because it's like it's heavy, but it's light, and it's like it covers heavy topics, but it's like kind of campy, and it's like I could watch it like every 2 years and like kind of be good,
Okay.
you know. No,
And it's not too long.
perfect length.
No.
Yep.
Hour 45.
It's quick and it's quick.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. I wrote decent 94 graphics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There really are some moments there where I was surprised at how good it looked. Like when he's jumping from roof to roof, they throw it to slow mo so that you don't see the I don't know, choppiness, because they're having him they're like spreading his leap over a larger distance, obviously, than he's leaping.
Yeah.
Which you know, so there's going to be way less frames than is appropriate, so they slow mo it and then have it look kind of chopped. Maybe you know what I'm saying. I think that I'm explaining this in a way that's understandable, but maybe I'm just in my own head here. But you know what I'm saying. If you slow mo it, you can use less frames to cover the distance. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yes.
143 fires on Devil's Night.
Yeah.
Seems like the police presence should probably be a little bit more than one car chase, cop car on the street.
Yeah, but also
like
if this happens every year, like who's gonna fucking join the force? You know?
I hear it was either supposed to be or modeled after 90s Detroit.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say that at some point where it's like I love how like they have like Sin City or Gotham, and this one they're like fuck it, it's just Detroit. I love that about this movie. They don't even give a shit. They're like, it's Detroit. This is what it's like. Whatever.
Right.
And I think it's based in reality a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if we went to Detroit right now, there'd be some guy jumping from roof to roof. There's one cop car chasing him around town,
and he thinks he's an Avenger.
Yeah.
And he's setting the fires.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely the one setting the fires.
He's just throwing the
bad
match in
guys
the
in
water.
this
Yeah.
1 year later, Rob.
Yeah.
And it's still a crime scene. The apartment.
Well, I saw that as more like a condemned building. Like, you know, sometimes they just like, wrap that shit up and then like they just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe, perhaps.
A little bit. Year goes pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, if you got an overwhelmed police force in Detroit and, you know, like no one's going back in that building for a while, like, are you going to have like one of your guys like come and take the tape down? Like,
Plus, you see that circle window he jumped out of?
Yeah.
Like they're not going to replace that kind of a window that quickly. And anyone that comes see that apartment is going to be like, no, thank you. I'm going to look somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah, we're making a lot of sense here, Chris.
Yeah, you are. Albrecht or whatever, Albeck, is uncomfortable handling, and this, Rob, just a heads up, this is praise. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Albeck, whatever his name is uncomfortable handling Sarah, and a year later, he's a father figure. Excellent character development in a flash, in my opinion, because you love this guy. Because when she comes to him, he has no idea what to do with this 13-year-old whose older sister just died and mother is a prostitute. And you can see he's trying to hand her off to somebody else to console her. But then a year later, they're getting hot dogs together and bullshitting. And I was you want to commend him so much for taking on the task he knew he needed to fill the role for. And I thought it was awesome character development.
They are munching on those glizzies. And that's a term I just learned recently.
Yeah. Barack.
Yeah.
Barack himself.
Which makes it sad, though, because his marriage fell apart. So obviously he can only spread his emotional empathy so far.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah.
So much depth to this film.
So much.
All right. I see where your allegiances lie, Bob.
All right.
I might start aiming some zingers at him as well.
You gotta watch it like 10 times before you really appreciate it. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, this is my freshman year in college. This is highly emotional for me.
Chris is just mad because people go to Halloween parties dressed like the Crow because it looks hot.
I'm going to say literally that in a little while. she's good on that skateboard, right?
She's okay. Yeah, she's ollie up a curb.
I'm just wondering, is that a casting requirement for that young actress?
It was stunt legs.
You think it was stunt legs?
Yeah, probably.
They just shaved like a 14-year-old boy's legs.
Yeah. And fishnets.
Oh, canceled.
That's going in the
write-up. Yeah, right. I think she was on the skateboard personally because that's totally believable.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he have decomposed a little bit, fellas?
Well, when you're necromanced, I mean, he gets shot through the hand and goes, woo, while staring through his palm and the bullet hole closes up. I don't think normal rules apply to his corpse.
Fair.
Yeah. Anything else?
Right.
Oh, I've got plenty more holes to poke before you heal them. Like Wolverine.
That was a great scene, though, by the way, when he's just like holding it up to his face and he's just like laughing.
It was, but the arm was obviously a prop.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a movie, Chris.
The worst graphics there was the arm, which I wasn't going to bring up.
Yeah.
Subtle bullet wound scars. I really liked. He gets like undressed and puts on his Catwoman like leather outfit he never wore in the closet. You know?
Yeah.
And there's some bullet holes.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Anyway, he comes back because of the great pain and horrible nature of his death, right?
Yeah.
This is why I said that Shelley should be the Crow, because she got fucking raped and watched her husband get thrown out a window.
Yeah.
And then died. She had it so much worse than him, but his great pain. This is the misogynistic, old school, like Greek god, biblical. The man experiencing pain is the worst situation than a woman experiencing pain. Like, we want to view the story through the eyes of men because we're men.
It's because he died first, Chris.
No, it isn't.
You're not gonna like what I'm about to say, by the way. Okay, in the comic, she dies first, and he suffers longer.
Oh, okay.
They should have kept that. They should have made that true. They should have had all the gang members rape him as well.
Yeah.
That's my take.
This is our best episode.
She got raped, guys. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I haven't been, but I assume with that you don't give consent, you probably aren't enjoying that, you know. No. And that's something he didn't have to suffer. He got to die before he even knew what happened to his.
That's right. Yeah. You're wishing rape on the hero. I get it.
Yeah. Seriously.
Can that go in the write-up? Wishing rape on the hero. Okay, cool.
Pushing the edgy, lovable couple a little hard, aren't we?
Yeah.
Their dialogue when they're together, like by the fireplaces, I love you. I know, I love you so much. Oh, I love you too. Yeah, but not as hard as I love you, babe. It's like, can you come up with something a little better than like, I love you too, I love you so much, kiss me, I love you. Let's dance around in a field of wheat like it's the Gladiator.
I'll give you credit there. I will give you credit there because like when it showed her like panicking over like the burning thing on the stove and he puts a cover over it and he's like, restaurant. Like it showed their dynamic. And like those flashbacks showed their dynamic as like as an actual functioning couple. But that's very hallmarky otherwise.
Yeah, it made it a little relatable though, because a normal couple can't think of much else to say. So you're gonna relate to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
Cheap out, Bob. Cheap out. Normal couples in movies are not movies you want to watch.
Yeah.
Relatable, like Friends.
Okay, how about this one, fellas? Remember in Catwoman when we were like, oh, how does she know how to like operate that motorcycle and do karate? And like, why is she so agile now?
Yeah.
Unexplainable powers and karate knowledge.
I mean, he was pretty ripped.
Is that why he can jump like 3 buildings in a single bound?
I mean, like I said, like they expertly through filmic time showed you like the bad guys are all talking, and he's like exploring his powers that he just found out he had because he like cut himself in his apartment and he saw his hands heal, and he's like, what else can I do? So he was like, there was a whole like montage we didn't see because we didn't need to see it. We just need to know he has powers. He's exploring his powers. He's going to use them to get revenge.
No, and I understand that. My question more is like, at least we saw the cat piss come out of the mouth of the felines by the shore at Catwoman, and that explains where the powers came from. Does a crow like take a little like white poop on his forehead and then he scrubs it onto his face, and now he has the power of the crow? Because
and then he had to have shadow boxed for at least 3 hours that we don't know about.
He's Bruce Lee's son. What do you want?
One cop says, "What the crap?" twice in this movie. And then the pawn shop guy says, "Shit on me," 3 times.
All right, I thought about that, and I knew you'd bring this up. I have an explanation, and I think you'll both be on board.
Come on.
You've never experienced someone stabbing you through your hand, wrecking your shit, dousing everything with gasoline. You are fight or flight. You're gonna latch onto one. It's like when you're. I hate to give credit to Dane Cook. He has a bit when you're like blackout, nonverbal drunk, and you latch onto a phrase like "It's not that easy, guys. It's not that easy, guys." You just keep repeating it. He was doing that.
A good time.
Yeah, he was doing that. I think he like I'm gonna get blown up. And he's just yelling shit on me because that's the first thing that came to his fucking Scamorphous brain. What was it? That fungus thing?
Saprophyte.
Yeah. I mean, I am bullshitting a little bit, but I think like, I don't know, I'd probably yell something stupid like that if I was about to get killed.
I just feel like, in 10 years, you guys are going to listen back on this pod and be like, Chris was right.
I am going to I'm going to press this episode on vinyl and make my son listen to it on his 16th birthday.
Hey, you know what's in poor taste?
What's that?
The black guy dies first.
I mean,
oh yeah,
he was being a dick though.
Rob, no.
Okay, fine. that common thing.
All right, how about when often. When he's like he pulls out two like daggers, or like they look like Rambo knives, you know? Yeah. What do they call those things? Not Bowie knife.
Katanas.
There's some name for the size of the blade. It's like a Rambo knife. Right. And he's like, me and these two guys, we've been through a lot together, and I never miss. And then he throws one and misses, and then throws another one and misses again, and then he throws a third one after introducing
I saw that. Yeah.
Like, why is there 3 of these things?
Yeah.
He said me and these 2 guys, he was like, we fuck people up, us 3. Yeah. And then there's a 4th. It's like, where did that come from?
He never needed backup until this point. He found a worthy adversary.
Would you see how many he had in him when they found him?
Yeah, there was like 10. He had like 10 sticking out of him.
Yeah.
Well, the crow has some knives.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good point.
The crow has 7.
Yeah. That must be it.
Good thing nobody bought her ring at the pawn shop.
Yeah.
In a year.
That's true.
That's far-fetched.
He had it tucked away for some reason.
Yeah.
Good pacing. I wrote that. Rob, you said it. I agree. Good pacing.
Great pacing. Excellent pacing.
The best pacing. Everybody knows the Crow has the best pacing, man. Everybody knows.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, totally. Like if you look up pacing in the dictionary, it is Brandon Lee and then that weird guy with the incest thing with his sister.
That's another thing we're gonna have to talk about. Let's just do it now. I'm not sure I wrote it down.
Okay.
Incest is in right now, though. You know, with like House of the Dragon and all the porn sites and stuff. Incest is like so.
Caught my stepsister cheating on her math exam. Now I'm gonna teach her a lesson. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now she's gonna cheat on her boyfriend.
Ouch.
Me. Smart to not have the Crow kill the pawn shop guy. I thought.
Yeah.
Because he's not guilty enough. So that keeps the Crow kind of a moral character.
Yeah.
He could have died. He was so close.
Yeah.
I mean, he does, but it's the bad guy who decides he's done enough to die.
No, but like that explosion could have killed him so easily.
It's like fat guys could haul ass, but like he didn't know that.
Yeah, right. Smells like Gessner. Extra ouch because she was pregnant. Did you guys catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they very subtly throw it in there. It's almost like they don't want everyone to even know.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty extra fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was the walking against the wind thing? There was a joke I think Ernie Hudson makes about him. Was in a mime joke? Does anybody know?
Yeah, because he was he was painted white face.
Yeah.
And he looked like a mime, according to Ernie Hudson.
Okay, yeah, I figured it must be a mime thing. Rob, you're right. I wrote the crow makeup is cool.
Yeah.
Just cool.
Fucking neat.
That's real neat.
Yeah, it's nifty.
The crow sees what the crow sees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lame.
Yeah.
Lame.
I do. You know what, Chris? I'll give you that. They only use that feature when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Oh, it's magic though.
Yeah. Maybe the inspiration between for the three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones, the books series.
Yeah,
I don't know. This was 94. We'd have to see when George Martin wrote the series. I don't think he had started that early though, right?
Yeah,
it's definitely not inspiration, by the way, for that.
I was just gonna roll with it.
Why is oh my god, I know the crow, I know Eric Draven mentions this, so it kind of makes it sort of campy and funny, but why is Albrecht wearing his fucking police hat and his wife beater and boxers in his kitchen?
Yeah,
I immediately was like, why does he have a hat on? He's got his police hat on.
Yeah, I thought the same
thing.
Like,
you have to take your shirt off and take the hat off and then put the hat back on. It's not like he didn't even realize that he's, like, off duty.
I thought it was just showing his devotion to his job. You know, like he was still doing his police work at home. So he's like, I better put my thinking cap on while I scribble
very nice.
While I scribble eyeshadow on this investigative photo.
Right.
Wow.
No, I like it. Yeah, that's never mind. No quibble here.
Yeah.
I've got one for you though. Did you guys see the whiskey glass snafu?
No, missed it.
Okay, so next time you watch this, Rob, in 2 years,
the level changes.
Yes,
they pour him like two fingers and it's like a full glass, right?
Yeah, Tin pours him. Yeah, about that. Yeah, two fingers.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and then like a split second later, he's got 3/4 of a glass full of whiskey.
Yeah.
So of course I was a little annoyed by that, but that's just me. That's bad editing.
Yeah. A man died, Chris.
Continuity be damned.
I wrote some good brutality. Like I like the sword through the neck. That you know, it's like that's a nice look. You know, the raven or the crow rather, excuse me, pecking the eyes out of the incest sister. Yeah. Wow. You know, we don't see it all the way, but you know, like it's nice and dark.
It's it's happening.
Yeah, it's adult. I wrote that Skank is the worst actor since the Hard Target chick.
Yeah.
Which I think I already mentioned.
With the shit cake switcheroo.
I could not. He would be champ in the Aston Arena for months, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my biggest gripe before we throw it to something awesome. Okay. The Crow is his link to the world of the undead.
Yeah.
The reason for his immortality.
Yeah.
As Incest Sister, Top Dollar, and Tintin explain to one another and the entire listening audience, without the Crow.
Yeah.
Crow, Eric Draven, is not immortal. he becomes a mortal man if the Crow, his link to the underworld, is killed.
Yeah.
Tintin posts up a sniper with a laser scope in the church and shoots the fucking Crow.
Yeah.
At that point, Top Dollar shoots Eric Draven.
Yeah.
And it's bleeding, which, small gripe, he bleeds all throughout the movie. So the blood is not the indicator that he's now mortal. Yeah. However, he can tell the wound is a potentially fatal wound.
Yeah.
And explains that to the detective.
Yeah.
Then we find out the Crow is still alive.
Yeah.
And continues to be alive. Therefore, in my estimation, it ought to at least restore or have continued his immortality, because the Crow itself isn't dead.
No, that's not it.
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
Please, because I got nothing, but I want you to defend this.
No. He fulfilled his revenge. He killed all the members of the gang that officially raped his girlfriend and killed him. His obligation was met, which created his mortality. It had nothing to do with the Crow. It was his obligation.
Oh shit! I agree. I like that, and I agree with that.
I thought of that right away. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Right away, I thought, why is he mortal? I'm like, oh, because he killed everyone that was responsible. This extra guy is just extra, and he's just hanging around to see what he could do. Honestly, I'm surprised he was even allowed to be around. So, Chris, I'll give you that much. He shouldn't have been around post revenge fulfillment, but the revenge fulfillment was what made him mortal.
So, Top Dollar, Incest Sister, and Tintin have it all wrong. The Crow is not the link.
Correct.
Even though it's established by the narrator that's the link.
Well, she's 14, dude.
But
Bob's making a lot of sense.
By the way, the Crow is actually a raven, and it was used in the sequels. The actual bird was used in the sequels.
Huh.
Yeah, well,
fact
Eric
or no
Draven
fact?
also quotes the Raven.
Nevermore.
Nevermore.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Can I just jump in?
So you're saying that his link to immortality now knows his backstory and who specifically he needs to get revenge.
They were hanging out for a year, dude.
He and the Crow?
Crows and dead people talk. They were commiserating. They were sharing their woes. He goes, you know what, buddy? Eric, I love you, man. I'm gonna bring you back. We're gonna fuck these guys up. And he's like, capital IDL chap, and then they go out and they do it.
In the interest of ending my night at some point tonight, I will concede.
Okay.
But know again that in 8 years' time, you will re-listen to this episode and know that I was correct. This movie is pretty good, but not great. Not great.
Can we talk about though when the Crow gets shot and then he gets shot? Just the fucking the realization. He's just like, oh shit! Like it's such a great moment, dude.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
he's just
the
like,
way
oh,
he
shit.
dropped down to the stairs of the altar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's throw it to a clip.
Okay.
This is praise for the movie. Okay, you guys, I'm backing off now. Here's some praise. This one's called Solo.
There was a whammy dive, but no whammy bar. I mean, it was dark. There could have been.
So the movie sucks, right?
Yeah, totally. Better just fucking, cancel it. Just go back in time, make him not make the movie.
That was badass, but luckily we've already established that the entire building is empty, so he doesn't have any neighbors to worry about when he's blasting, his tunes, like the guy in front of the motor car in Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
With neighbors to consider.
If it's a condemned building, there shouldn't be power, though.
So there's definitely people in that building that he is bothering at all hours.
Stop it, guys! I'm trying to musically channel my grief.
All right. Anything else you guys want to praise it for, or I know for a fact you're not going to make fun of the movie at all. It was a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes according to you guys.
Here's the thing. I acknowledge all the cheese that this movie has to offer. I think I discovered it at a very because I was 6. I've never seen like a noir film. I've never seen like an anti-hero story aside from like Batman, But that was the first time I was just like, this is fucking cool. Like, you ever just see something and just think it's cool and like not have you're like, that's enough. I could just say I think it's cool, and I don't need to rationalize it. It's just fucking cool, and that's where I stand with this movie. I think.
No, I'm with you. Like, I feel like the childhood novelty of a lot of items cement them in your head as legacy. Yeah. And for me, this movie was not one of those.
Yeah.
This was my first viewing.
I'm gonna go opposite Rob.
Yeah.
And in 94 or 95, whenever I first watched this, I thought, it was pretty cool. But then I watched it critically a week ago. And when I watched it critically, I noticed it was a fair adaptation of someone's vision. And it wasn't extra cheesy. There wasn't a whole lot of continuity errors. It was an artistic vision that I can respect a hell of a lot more than most comic book shit coming out nowadays.
I thought you were going to say Howard the Duck.
No.
So you do prefer Howard the Duck to the Crow? Because I do.
Is that what I said?
I'm just kidding. Also, no animals were harmed in the filming of either the Duck or the Crow.
All right.
We'll say okay, sure.
They were adamant at the end of this movie. It's just another thing that I've noticed.
Yeah, only people were hurt very bad.
Right.
Yes, no Raven was murdered on the set. So
that's right. They were rehired actually.
Yeah.
Rob's alternate ending.
You can do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, or you can do that. Just pick one.
This is kind of a cop-out, but the only thing I'd like to see happen differently is Brandon Lee just going like, willy, 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 as he's falling into his grave.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Just one last little shred fest before he goes to the underworld.
Yeah, or, like, if he wasn't, like, completely immortal, so there was actually something at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool.
All right, so back credit names, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Bad credit names. Bad credit names. Bad credit names. Yeah.
Okay, so in my mad scramble to get this outline done, I only wrote down half of them and then in order, and the other half are out of order. So this is gonna be kind of fun.
All right.
Our returning customer. We've heard this name 12 times. Maybe I'll stop writing it because it's not funny anymore. But his name is Buddy Joe Hooker. He's a stuntman. Okay. Buddy Joe Hooker. How you doing? Okay, two guys that were involved in the song making for The Crow.
Okay.
Brian Chutch.
Okay.
New. N-E-W.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Brian New is odd enough to not have to have Chutch credited in the middle there for me.
Right.
Groovy Man.
Yes.
Nice.
One of the artists for like All About the Flesh or something about the Flesh.
Yeah.
After the Flesh, yeah.
After the Flesh, yeah. By the way, were these actual like performing bands that you could go see on tour somewhere that were playing in the club?
Indeed, yes.
I think so. I know in one of the reboots, Deftones had a cameo, or they're at least on the soundtrack.
After the Flesh was a band called My Life with the Thrill Kill Call. These were all industrial bands.
I know My Life with the Thrill Kill Call. Yeah, they have a weird discography.
But even before then, there was like a tattooed up, like blonde, almost hot chick that was singing some stuff, and I was like, she said, "Hands are walls that breathe," or "Walls are hands that breathe," or something, and I was like, this girl is out of her mind.
Yeah,
this is probably a real band.
Yeah, I don't think that was in the soundtrack, so I feel like it might actually not be a real band. I'm not sure. I really over listened to the soundtrack in the mid '90s.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I'm slinging the rest of these out of order.
Okay.
Bei Ling,
mm-hmm.
which I just liked because she's the incest sister, and her name kind of almost sounds like bilingual.
Yeah.
Which I just thought that was interesting, the way that worked out. Himwa. Himwa. Charles Chunky Hughes.
Is it in quotes, or is it like...
Yeah, Chunky's in
So
quotes.
he's like, someone said, "Hey, Charlie, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, my friends call me Chunky."
Yeah, my friend. Stop it right there. My friends call me Chunky. I knew a kid growing up who he wanted everybody to call him Chunk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiger Tate.
All right. Unfortunate.
I wish it was Tate.
Yeah.
Right. That'd be funny.
And lastly, Peter Pound.
That's the winner. I mean, you got the order right.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, if you put that thing on a scale, it's about 16 ounces.
Yeah.
We have a local school district named Peters Township, and our football coach used to get on the announcements and say, "This week we're gonna beat Peters."
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And got away with it.
Yeah.
Yes. Good for him. I have nothing more to say because we don't compare good movies. We will put up a poll once we decide what is going to start season 8 for our bad movie episode. I can't wait for
The Crow, City of Angels.
It is spooky season, so you know what's coming up.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got some choice selections actually. You know, Cousin Todd, who I mentioned sometimes on the pod. Yeah. Cousin Todd, friend of the pod. I like it. He said, and I should not utter this here because this is going to come to fruition, and I'm going to want to cut off all of my toes.
Speak it into existence, please.
Ernest Scared Stupid or Scared Straight or whatever, the Halloween one.
Scare Stupid. Yeah, Scare Stupid.
Yeah. He wants us to do that one, and we can put it in the poll, and I'll just pray to God it doesn't win that week.
Okay.
Which means me and Rob both vote for it.
We'll have many heated off-air discussions over this, but I'm down.
Or choose it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. For God's sake, don't do that.
No, I won't do that. I will not choose Ernest Scared Stupid.
No, I don't want. We did an Ernest movie. I don't want to do another.
I don't want to watch it.
You heard some of my vitriol tonight. Imagine how upset I'd be if we did that one. Maybe it's worth doing because this was a funny episode, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, peace out and thank you for listening. As always, check out our website, theworstmovieevermade.com.
All right, I'm gonna play us out. All right, see you later.